All right, and good morning, everyone. It is February the 4th, 2021, and we are here for a really apropos topic today at the Remote Pathways podcast community call on resilience. Good morning, Michelle. How are you keeping?
Good morning, Jen. I'm here. I'm ready to start the day with this fabulous group of people. So, ready to
So
grow.
am I. So, whether you're here asynchronously or live, I want to welcome you to our conversation today around resilience. Certainly, a topic I think many of us would agree is so important in today's world. And so, as we bring you into the room, we're going to get you to think about creating your own resilience story. So, I'd like you actually to look at these wonderful umbrellas today and maybe pick a few that could frame out what your story is around resilience. And I just want to give you a minute to note what that framing is, and then we'll maybe have a brief discussion around it. How does that sound, Michelle?
That sounds good. So, pick some umbrella colors or just pick three. Like, what
Yeah,
do you
let's
think?
pick like three colors. Like, what are the first three colors that capture your attention? And draw your umbrellas and then think about what you would put under those umbrellas in terms of, you know, your stories right now, whether it's resilience related or other. What are some of the things that are getting framed out?
Sounds great. I'm ready.
All right. So you look like you're still engaging in that, Michelle.
It's so good. Yeah, I like it. I like the creativity, waking up with creativity.
Well, that's what we, aim to do as we get on to the call. So we'll start with you, and I know we've got you, Linda, as well here on the call with us live. What showed up for you, Michelle? What colors did you select?
I chose yellow and kind of that teal color and green. So, and it represented sunshine, water, and action.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
And what's important about those three things in your world right now?
Sunshine is like warmth, kindness, compassion. Water is just kind of represents the pace, like cool and peaceful and kind of the rhythm. And then green, action, just go into the world and serve others. That's what I'm kind of where it's at. Yeah.
I love that.
How about you?
Fantastic. Well, I think you influenced me. I saw the dark blue, the yellow, and then the white, which made me realize, isn't that remote pathways, right? So I really selected those were the three that came off. And it was, to me, it was about shade, renewal, boundaries, conversation. I always think of yellow and you saying it's all about the conversation, pause, and then just awe. Like this is a fun graphic to sort of look up and go, oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that
Yeah.
colorful? So provides a bit of shade, provides a bit of wow. And most importantly, it provides a boundary, right? I think one of the challenges of this last year has been what are the boundaries around different hats and different roles and different, different parts of our day. So it's great, as always, to be here with you. Linda, we're so appreciative when you join us live. I don't know if there's something you want to share in terms of what colors sparked your attention today.
Well, we were all on the same page with the color yellow. So we all had yellow. So
Yay.
my yellow represented joy and fun, just to remember to have fun along the way with remaining resilient. Um, and then I picked the light lime green color, and that represented focus, just staying focused and health for me. As long as I'm staying kind of focused in my health, other things seem to really fall in place. When I kind of let that go, things get off track. So That's what the lime green represented. And then red represented perseverance in my work and ministry and really just remaining motivated.
Oh, that's good.
Fantastic. Oh, I love it. And we'd love to hear from you if you're watching this, like what colors captured your attention? You know, are there colors that you see in your phase right now? And as I'm looking at it, actually, like the purple's jumping out at me, the teal that you just mentioned, Linda. You know, I think we can also, with resilience and with, you know, today's world, it's ever changing. So we hopefully don't feel that we're ever stuck in one moment, right? We have a lot of choice that we can move with. What else comes to your mind, Michelle, before we leave this image?
I'm just fascinated by the person that made this picture, right? It looks like they've got those umbrellas hanging up with clothespins or something. It's pretty cool. I'd like to walk down that street.
I'd love to walk down that street. I think it would be a nice change from, like, you know, sun is coming up, but there's still a lot of snow on the ground. And it would be nice to see a lot of color.
I,
So
I find
with that, welcome everyone to Resilience. We are here, and to what you just said a few minutes ago, Linda, right? Q1's earmarked all about focus. And it was interesting, right? Like, I think here we are, February, past Groundhog Day. Certainly, it's supposed to be an early spring, which is wonderful. And I'd like to invite you to think about what was your focus in January. Michelle and I actually had a really fun first kickoff to the monthly planning sessions that are our new second call of the month. And I have to say, Michelle, doing that quick, you know, it's sort of a 45-minute call, helped me get focus on the last part of my month. I don't know about you, but what got sparked for you with the monthly planning session?
Yeah, it was grounded. It just helped me. That small burst of focus, I repeated that pattern, just those 10 questions that we went through, and then it just set me up for success for the rest of the month. Same thing. And I'm looking forward to the next one. It's on content planning. So I really like that focus that we're zooming in and theming these planning sessions. And Linda, it sounded like you were going to say something. We couldn't tell if that was background noise or if we want to bring your voice in if you were going to say something.
Well, okay, I don't know. I just wanted to interject one thing about the picture. That it was interesting because when you put the picture up there, you know, and you presented what we were going to do, I'm like, okay, I don't know where I'm going to go with this. But it was interesting because I just kind of started. I just wrote down the colors, and just by writing down the colors, I still didn't know what was going to come out, you know. So, and as I wrote down the colors and I drew the little umbrella, just immediately after I wrote down the colors, it's like it just started, like the download started happening. And so what I wanted to say about that when you do these exercises is, you know, I don't really know, like we might not know what is this going to produce, right?
Yes.
Like you look at it and you're like, I have no idea what color, you know, what this picture is really going to bring to mind. But as you just kind of take that step of faith and start doing it, you know, it really brought great revelation. So anyway, I just wanted to interject that a lot of times we don't know what to do or how to get started. Just get moving and it will, you know, success will come.
Great point. Awesome.
I think, you know, to the, you know, trust and just go follow the process, right? And to resilience, right? There's a whole piece of faith that we have to take, right? Many times when we're tested, it's like, ooh, okay, what do I do? But, you know, there's an element of trust and just do it, show up, you know, take the step, the next thing will unfold, just as I'm hearing from, you know, your experience this morning with this short exercise. It's it's a whole sidebar tangent. I could talk a lot. I think many of you have seen behind me, you know, I'm doing a lot of work in graphic facilitation this year. And, you know, seeing what emerges, literally seeing what emerges out of conversations is pretty neat. How you start with a blank sheet and then, you know, half an hour or an hour into the conversation, there's like actually a framing. So really apropos with today's topic. So resilience, focus. We're going to talk today all about resilience, and like these multicolored balls, right? It's like, okay, as we drop them, they're going to come back up. They're going to spring up again, have a different pattern. They're probably going to drop back down and spring up again. So we've got a fun second activity. I hope that you have still some room on that piece of paper. Michelle, why don't you take us through this notion of head, heart, guts?
Yeah, and we're actually going to add hands and feet to it as well. So if you have a piece of paper, blank piece of paper, go ahead and draw a stick figure. I can't draw, but I can work one of those out. So draw the head and the body and the arms and the legs. And go ahead and put little circles as hands and feet. And then draw a giant heart in the middle, right at the chest. And when you think about the topic of resilience, I know it makes, means maybe a little different thing to each person. But as you think of resilience and you kind of tapped into that creativity this morning, think of something that is going on, a current situation that you have right now that is you're dancing in those resilience waters. And I want to kind of start at the head of your stick figure and imagine that stick figure is going through a season of resilience. What might that stick figure be thinking? What are some of the thoughts around resilience that would be helpful? And then travel over to the heart. Kind of think of the heart. What kind of feelings might come up during a season of resilience? And just note one, two, or perhaps a few that would be common to you. And then kind of put those little brackets around the belly or that gut instinct of that stick figure that kind of kicks in resilience. And think about, what does your body tell you? What's that instinct that kicks in seasons of resilience? What do you notice there? And then the hands on the body, that just kind of represents, what do you need to receive in seasons of resilience? Imagine those hands are open and it's a posture of receiving. I apologize if you can hear my dog. And then finally, the little feet on the man says, okay, I'm in this season of resilience. I'm bouncing back. I'm still in the game, right? So what are you doing during this time? And I think as a bonus, as a final thing, what are you believing? What are you believing in a time of resilience? What is that thing that carries you through? All right. So, Jen, what came up for you? What does your little person look like or sound like? Or
Well, here she is. I don't know if you can see her, right?
yeah, she's
So
cute.
my stick figure with glasses on. And what I found interesting, I won't dig into all the details, that, I'm glad you added the belief layer on, but to the head, the heart, the hands, the feet, like it's such a great 360 view, and each piece has a different, like the umbrellas, it's a different frame, right? To my
Mhm.
umbrellas, it's like I can take all these things on this issue and really look at, what, you keep bouncing back, just keep going.
Yes.
And I'm glad we picked multicolor balls too. So the yellow, blue, and white, I think those were in the bowls. So I'm going to add them to my stick figures world with glasses.
With glasses. I love your stick figure. I love that you put glasses on your stick figure. That's awesome.
Of course, because you know what? I need them. Except when I'm on Zoom, right? Like Zoom is the only time of day when I don't wear glasses anymore. So,
Yeah.
so interesting. So thank you for taking us through that quick exercise.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to hear what Linda's experience was, whether it was like me, sort of broad strokes or more detail.
Well, it was interesting. The head was basically like, it was so cool, just kind of the order of everything. Because I'm like, as you continue to walk through each point, it kind of continued to reveal and move, like kind of walk you through the process, you know? So your head, like, what are you, you know, thinking about right now? Or what are you, you know, having to be resilient in right now? And I'm having just this morning, waking up just from yesterday, not even like just from yesterday, waking up this morning going, okay, don't agree with negativity.
Mm-hmm.
And so then what is your heart telling you? You know, or what are you feeling? You know, and I'm anxious, you know,
Yes.
because I'm sitting here telling myself, my head saying, don't agree with negativity, you know, and so my heart's feeling anxious. So then what is my gut feeling? I'm feeling tense. I'm feeling tense. Then my hands, then what do you need to receive? You know, and I was like, I need to receive truth in this situation. I need to receive truth. My feet are moving forward. Don't quit. Don't agree with feelings and emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And then your belief, my belief is it's not about me. When the pressure is on, I have a choice. What am I going to focus on? Lack or abundance?
Wow. Good. Wow. I love it. And I love that you brought focus right back into it from the umbrellas. Your green, your lime green came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. Thank you for playing with us.
Yes.
Yeah. So great.
So, Michelle, tell us a bit about this head, heart, guts and where it came from.
Well, it came like I'm still exploring this. You know, I went into training for the Enneagram recently through Teresa McCloy's program and the motions of the soul. I chose not to become certified in it, but, you know, I really wanted to just experience and savor the experience myself. But it really is about showing up with your whole self, your head, heart, and guts. And usually we have a dominant category that we respond to. But it's really saying, wait, you're more than your thoughts. You're more than your emotions. You're more than your instinct. And to open yourself up to all three centers of intelligence and responding in that way. And then the head, hands and feet. Jen, you brought that into it. So I kind of just put my own spin on it. But please tell me, where did that come from?
Well, you know, it's interesting. The head, heart, guts piece, I'd always coached around. I used to do a lot of executive coaching like a decade ago with this framing, right? And two times of complexity, times of challenge for leaders, like really helping leaders tap into these three areas. But then somehow along the way, I picked up the hands and the feet because it's not just enough to think it, right? I love the way you framed the receiving with the hands, but it's also about the doing. And I so appreciate the belief layer on top of it. So I think this was truly a bit of a collaborative synthesis exercise, which sounds like it was valuable certainly it was valuable to me. It sounds like it was really valuable to you as well, Linda. And we'd love to hear from other listeners, you know, what new insights from that 360 view do you have around a current situation?
Awesome. Going with the flow on the remote pathways today.
As always, which is, you know, I think that was the message of resilience when we sat down with Susan Drum. So, you know, our last episode 29, was with Susan Drum, where she talked to us about building resilience and also about the heart map, which is where I think the resilience and then that head, heart, guts originally came up for both of us as we were meeting with Susan and thinking, you know, what could we bring to the community?
Yes, absolutely. And that perspective, right? That when we see with the eyes of our hearts, and I love that the science behind all that. So that episode about heart math, I appreciated Susan sharing with us some of the behind the scenes science that backs that up, supports that our hearts actually do play a significant role in how we see the world. So it's very fascinating.
Yes. If you haven't listened to episode 29, definitely check it out along with Susan's great download. Anything else you want to say on heart math or resilience?
No, I think that's good. Just don't be afraid, right? Go, listen in and see what comes up for you. And then yesterday, the our podcast episode was the power of collaborating and designing with community, and that designing on the go. And we talked about your 21-day challenge some in there, and that was a great topic, a fun conversation. And just thank you for sharing your words of wisdom in this season, Jennifer. Always appreciate learning from you.
Well, thank you. And, it's sort of fun. I want to go back and listen to it because while it was a couple of weeks ago, we've just kicked off the February season of 21 for 21. Some people who had done January, some new people as well. But already, just as we step into day 4, people saying, I really appreciate being able to come together and do work together. And I think that's what we wanted as a key message of the power of collaborating and designing with community. We don't have to do it all alone, right? A year ago, around this time, I was releasing a community call for my group on no person is an island. And I think here we are a year later, it's like we all want community in different phases, whether it's live, whether it's asynchronous, whether, it's for short term or long term. So think about, what community and collaboration as well as design means in your world and definitely drop in. I think the episode's what, about 20 minutes maybe? Do you know
Yeah.
how long it is?
We try
About
to keep
20
them
minutes?
short, 20 to 30. Yeah.
20 to 30. So it's our bi-weekly one. And again, I think as we step into the second season, it's really fun. We're going down below the waterline of remote work, which is where I think a lot of folks are working in this virtual space these days.
Yes, well said.
So Linda, any insights? I don't know if you listened into Susan's episode or anything that you want to note around these different words we've been throwing out this morning.
Well, I have not, but again, I think that really honestly for me, um, two things. Well, just the fact of, well, I haven't listened to the episode, but what I'm really curious about is collaborating with other people and not living in this, island world. It's so, as a remote worker, it's so easy to isolate
Yes.
and just kind of dive into I'm the Lone Ranger, and then you're not fueled, and so that's why I love these calls, is because it gets me motivated. And I'm curious. I would love for you guys to share again. For I was unable to make the last Thursday call that you had, but when is the next Thursday call?
Let's see. Do I have it here? Right here, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Oh, we'll have to do something special. And so, yeah, it's going to be on content planning. So that call, you can head on over to remotepathways.com/planning.
Is
It
it
is going to be,
February 18th?
oh, is it the 18th? Okay, maybe it is the 8th. Maybe it was January. Yes, you know what? That's a carry forward. So yeah, it is the third, what is it? The third Thursday. So let's X-nay that. February 18th, Thursday, February 18th, 12 to 12:45. And we do a worksheet. We take you through a facilitated process. It is actually, we like to say this is now a revenue generator to help us continue with the podcast, because all proceeds from the planning day go back into the podcast, which is a nice thing. But certainly in our first one, really, great impact with a 45-minute burst. Anything else you want to say, Michelle, about the monthly
Yeah.
plan?
So, and being transparent, our slide deck, we had to renew it this morning because me, I lost the slide deck. So there's a little bit of misinformation there. So the screen says 12:15 to 1 p.m. But Jen, just clarify again, the time. Is it 12 to 12:45? When do you show up and start?
That's such a great question. I think we had originally thought it would be 12:15 to 1, but last time we started at 12. So maybe we put this as a 12
Yeah.
to 12:45. We'll have to really clarify that. It's a few weeks down the road, but it is
Yeah.
going to be the third Thursday, probably, yes, again at, I believe, let's make it 12 o'clock. Just
Let's
to
make
show.
it 12.
Because I think
Saying
12
it
is
right
easier
here
to
live.
remember. But you know what? Now that we've had all this back and forth on dates, people will remember third Thursday at 12 noon. So yes, we had to do a resilient pivot this
Yes.
morning with a PowerPoint deck that just evaporated in the last 20 minutes. So it's all good. We had a good call. I think that's the most important thing. And so what supports you in time of change? Collaboration, winging it, right? Like these are all the things that really can make us be more resilient. And we've got that same quote as last time about vision, because I think resilience and vision go hand in hand, right? Our vision here at Remote Pathways has always been to create community, create a conversation, and create a place to come rest and also get some insights. And I think that's what we've heard has happened today. So an interesting piece, we've hired Honey, who is one of our sort of, I would say, one of our right-hand ladies. And Honey is being funded actually through the planning sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's been doing a great job on taking some of the blog content from last year and putting it into some new fashion. So if you head on over to our Remote Pathways Facebook group, you're going to see a weekly GIF, something that moves. And so this week's GIF is, what are the things that you do really well? If you recall, last year at this time, we were in week 5. We are still in week 5 of the year. But this week's theme at the Remote Pathways downloads from 2020 is all about strengths. So we've featured strengths a couple of times, and they go hand in hand with resilience, right? Mm-hmm. We want to leverage our strengths in times of change and resilience. And often in navigating that change, it is our strengths that help us through. So I hope I've tied that up in a nice, neat bow. Anything you want to add, Michelle?
Yeah, I found this other little quote, and I think it's so applicable today. Every time you find some humor in a difficult situation, you win. Ooh, so look for that joy.
Yes. Can you read that one more time?
Yeah, every time you find some humor in a difficult situation, you win. So look for the joy.
That's great. And who wrote that?
I have no idea. It's not quoted. I've got a picture of Snoopy. So we're just going to go with Snoopy said it this morning.
Snoopy said it. I like that. I like that. Well, what else do we got to talk about? Let's see. I think that's about it for today. Yeah, we've got Susan. So definitely check out Susan's episode. And today was our first, and this is like our only early morning call of the month now. At least we're going to pilot this for, say, 6 months. We'll see how it goes. Next 7 a.m. call will happen the first Thursday of March. Do you happen to have a calendar there, Michelle, to give us the date on that one?
Nope, we're just going to go with the first Thursday of the month in March at 7 a.m.
March 4th. March 4th.
March 4th. There you go. So March 4th. And today, of course, is Thursday, February 4th as well. So it's all good. So with that, we want to thank you. Any insights, Linda, that you would like to articulate before we go to wrap up? Because it is 7:30. All right on the day.
Just appreciate your Thursday morning calls, and it gets me focused for the month. And so I just really greatly appreciate it. As always, I'm walking away with lots of focus, and you've got me motivated this morning. So I appreciate both of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us.
So we hope that you enjoyed your umbrellas and your head, heart, guts, hands, feet, and belief. And Michelle, as always, great to see you here. Anything you want to say as we go to close out?
Just thanks for being in this remote space and going with the flow today. It was fun.
I think it's interesting that, on the topic of resilience, we had a PowerPoint meltdown. It was a great call. There was value. And so we have to just continue to trust. So with that, everyone, we'll see you in 2 weeks, hopefully at the planning session at 12 noon. And if not, we'll see you back here in a month's time. Take care, everyone. Be well.
Bye.
Bye.